sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth continues to defend the use of a chat app to discuss airstrikes in Yemen with other Trump officials.
There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio was also on the chat.
There was no war plans on there. This was a sort of description of what we could inform our counterparts around the world when the time came to do so.
CBS's Charlie D'Agata at the Pentagon.
This is about 30 minutes before launch. This would give an adversary enough time to prepare for the arrival of U.S. service members, pilots, fighter aircraft. It would give them time to prepare. Now, whether or not the Houthis had the capability, in some cases they do. They've certainly shot down high-flying drones. It would have given them an opportunity to prepare.
The Atlantic released screenshots of the chat. Editor-in-Chief Jeffrey Goldberg was inadvertently invited to the chat by President Trump's national security advisor.
Even as a reporter who wants to know everything, I recognize that there are some things for operational reasons should not be discussed lightly. But what you have here is the Secretary of Defense discussing in a signal chat, doesn't even know that the editor of the Atlantic is in the signal chat, and is giving out precise timings.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill expressed more concerns. Congressman Jim Himes.
A lot of this suggests sort of a lack of sobriety. When there's punch emojis and fire emojis, it's a lack of sobriety. I don't mean that literally.
Some are calling for an Inspector General investigation into the use of the app. A federal appeals court says it will not lift an order barring the Trump administration from deporting Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador. The Supreme Court has upheld Biden administration regulations on so-called ghost guns, which are so hard to trace. CBS's Jan Crawford.
If it looks like a gun, it fires like a gun, it acts like a gun, they're going to treat it like a gun, and you've got to get those serial numbers on it to sell it, and background checks as well.
Christopher Cruz reports on efforts to cancel funding for NPR and PBS.
At a House hearing, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene accused the radio and television networks of bias against conservatives.
NPR and PBS have increasingly become radical, left-wing echo chambers.
Democratic Congressman Stephen Lynch mocked Greene.
Told the hearing to go after the likes of Elmo and Cookie Monster and Arthur the Aardvark, all for the unforgivable sin of teaching the alphabet.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial finished the day 132 points lower. This is CBS News.
Well, that's today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 64 degrees in Oakland, California.